good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you may be. Today I'm going to talk to you about something that in a previous video I said that I hated to do. You don't have to rely on these boring sounding exercises. Chances are, if you're like me, you're not a big fan of this. I did mention in that video, however, that a select few of exercises are necessary, unfortunately, for us guitar players to maintain our dexterity and improve our finger strength and other skills that you will benefit from doing these crazy, weird, terrible sounding exercises. Think of it like brushing your teeth every day. You just gotta get in the habit of doing it. It'll be good for you. So you need to use a metronome for these exercises. I'll put a link in the description for the metronome that I use. You can use a metronome app on your iPhone or Android phone. I don't really like the phone apps though, because I don't know, there's just something about having a real metronome that makes me feel cool, I guess. So without further ado, I'm going to show you a few of my most hated but most necessary terrible guitar exercises. So here's our first exercise. Essentially, you're making a line across 4 different strings. So we have 3, 4, 5, 6, all on separate strings here. And what we'll do is play that and then switch our fingers to an opposite diagonal line. So that would be 6 up here on the E string, 5, 4, 3. Okay? So just get in the habit of doing that. So just get in the habit of doing this. And all you do is move that same exercise up the neck. So it would look like this. And as I said, this is going to be essentially a tongue twister for your fingers, because your fingers are going to naturally kind of fall towards you, so you're going to have trouble hitting this G string each time. Your fingers are going to kind of mash against the frets. This is normal. So what you want to do once you kind of get this down at a very slow pace without a metronome is then add the metronome. The next exercise I have for you is an alternating exercise, and I'll show it to you on 1 string first. So essentially I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm starting the process with my second finger. So we have 2, 3, 4, 1. And then start with my third finger, 3, 4, 1, 2. And then, you guessed it, start with the fourth finger. So it's 4, 1, 2, 3. And then you can go up the strings using that same pattern. And each time you switch fingers, start with a new finger, you start with a new string. And you can go up and down. So here's an example of how I play that exercise with a metronome. This next exercise is kind of reminiscent of the previous one we just did, only it's all on 1 string, and we are working on a different move here. We're ascending up the neck. So it's the same concept, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3. But each time we switch fingers, we're actually moving up 1 fret. So here's what I mean by that. I play 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, when I start my next pattern, I'm going to move up 1 fret position and start with 2. Move up a fret, 3, 4, 1, 2. Move up a fret, and complete the pattern. And then I just keep going up. all the way up the neck. So here's what that terrible exercise would look like with a metronome. This next exercise is kind of like a spider exercise, the way it makes your fingers look. So it is a power chord stacked on a power chord. And we are playing these notes individually, moving up whole steps as we progress through the exercise. So that would look something like this. Also, there's a variation to this. You can go back down the neck. So we're actually doing reverse power chords. So just invert that position and go down the neck. So here's what both of those exercises would look like, slow and fast, with a metronome. So those are the only exercises that I do that are not musical sounding. They cover all the bases that I care to cover. Of course, there are a million out there that will hone your skills in different ways. These are just the ones that I found most effective for what I care about, being able to play on the guitar and maintaining what skills I have. So use these as kind of like a framework to create your own bad sounding exercises. You don't have to copy these exactly, but these exercises have been used by guitar players like Joe Satriani, Steve Vai, and a bunch of other amazing people. So they've worked for those guys, they'll work for you absolutely. So like I mentioned, just do these once a day. I promise, just do it for like 5 minutes. Even if you can only do one, it will vastly improve your guitar playing when you do go to play fun stuff. And I know that because when I started doing these things, I was like, oh, this is terrible. Then I kept doing them and I've noticed a dramatic improvement since I implemented these into my practice routine. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Ooh, I don't know if you did. It was really bad sounding, I'm sorry, but you gotta do what you gotta do. I believe in you. You can do this. Bad sounding exercises are necessary, but only a little bit. Have a great day.